And we've just come to the 26th chapter of the Samyutta Nikaya. So the first sutta I'll read is 26.1. This chapter 26 is called Uppada Samyutta. Uppada is arising of the elements. So 26.1 at Savatthi, the Buddha said, monks, the arising, continuation, production and manifestation of the I is the arising of suffering, the continuation of disease, the manifestation of aging and death. Similarly, the arising, continuation, production and manifestation of the ear, nose, tongue, body and mind is the arising of suffering, the continuation of disease, the manifestation of aging and death. The cessation, subsiding and passing away of the I is the cessation of suffering, the subsiding of disease, the passing away of aging and death. Similarly, the cessation, subsiding and passing away of the ear, nose, tongue, body and mind is the cessation of suffering, the subsiding of disease, the passing away of aging and death. That's the end of the sutta. So, in the Buddha's Dhamma, the five aggregates and the six senses are suffering. So when they arise to our suffering and the continuation of disease, aging and death, etc. So the Buddha says that in these aggregates and the six senses, there is no self, no thing that is permanent, that you can identify to be the self, unchanging. So the Buddha says when a person is born, it's just suffering that is born and continues, and when a person dies, there's just suffering that passes away. So the other suttas are also a bit similar. The second sutta is the arising of forms, sounds, odors, tastes, touch and thoughts. And the third sutta is the arising of the six consciousness. Then the fourth sutta is the arising of contact, the six types of contact, eye contact, ear contact, nose contact, etc. And then the fifth sutta is about the arising of feelings born of eye contact, ear contact, nose contact, etc. And the sixth sutta is the arising of perception. I read the 8th sutta, 26.8 at Savatthi. Monks, the arising, continuation, production and manifestation of craving for forms, craving for sounds, craving for smells, taste, touch and thoughts is the arising of suffering, the continuation of disease, the manifestation of aging and death. The cessation, subsiding and passing away of craving for forms, craving for sounds, smells, taste, touch and thoughts is the cessation of suffering, the subsiding of disease, the passing away of aging and death. So the sutta says that when craving arises, it means suffering arises. But when craving ceases, then suffering ceases. 26.10 at Savatthi, monks, the arising, continuation, production and manifestation of body is the arising of suffering, the continuation of disease, the manifestation of aging and death. Similarly, the arising, continuation, production and manifestation of feeling, of perception, volition, consciousness is the arising of suffering, the continuation of disease, the manifestation of aging and death. But the cessation, subsiding and passing away of body is the cessation of suffering, the subsiding of disease, the passing away of aging and death. Similarly, the cessation, subsiding and passing away of feeling, perception, volition and consciousness is the cessation of suffering, the subsiding of disease, the passing away of aging and death. So this sutta is all about this arising of the five aggregates, the six senses and the contact and all that. Now we come to the next chapter, chapter 27, Kilesa Samyutta. Kilesa means defilements. Defilements refer to the defilements in the mind. 27.2 at Savatthi, the Buddha said, monks, desire and lust for body is a corruption of the mind. Desire and lust for sounds, for odors, for taste, for touch, for thoughts is a corruption of the mind. When a monk has abandoned the mental corruption in these six cases, his mind inclines to renunciation. A mind fortified by renunciation becomes wieldy in regard to those things that are to be realized by direct knowledge. Wieldy means easily used or controlled or handled. So a mind fortified by renunciation becomes easily controlled in regard to those things that are to be realized by direct knowledge. That means you can easily attain direct knowledge. So desire and lust for the sense objects are corruption of the mind. But when we abandon this desire and lust for the six sense objects, then the mind is suitable to be used to realize direct knowledge. And the others are also quite similar. Desire and lust for the six sense bases, desire and lust for the six types of consciousness, for the contact, for feeling, perception, volition, craving. And the next sutta I'll read as the last one here, 27.10. Monks, the desire and lust for body, for feeling, for perception, for volition, for consciousness is a corruption of the mind. When a monk has abandoned the mental corruption in these five cases, his mind inclines to renunciation. A mind fortified by renunciation becomes wieldy in regard to those things that are to be realized by direct knowledge. So here, if a person has desire and lust for the five aggregates, and that is a corruption of the mind. But when he abandons the desire and lust for the five aggregates, then the mind inclines to renunciation and becomes very suitable to realize direct knowledge. Now we come to chapter 28. Sariputta Samyutta discourses concerning the Venerable Sariputta. 28.1. On one occasion, the Venerable Sariputta was dwelling at Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's park. Then in the morning, the Venerable Sariputta dressed and taking bowl and robe, entered Savatthi for alms. Then when he had walked for alms in Savatthi and had returned from the alms round, after his meal, he went to the blind man's grove for the day's abiding. Having plunged into the blind man's grove, he sat down at the foot of a tree for the day's abiding. Then in the evening, the Venerable Sariputta emerged from seclusion and went to Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's park. The Venerable Ananda saw the Venerable Sariputta coming in the distance and said to him, "Friend Sariputta, your faculties are serene, your facial complexion is pure and bright. In what dwelling has the Venerable Sariputta spent the day?" And Venerable Sariputta replied, "Here, friend, secluded from sensual pleasures, secluded from unwholesome states, I entered and dwelt in the first jhana. which is accompanied by thought, directed and sustained with delight and happiness born of seclusion. Yet, friend, it did not occur to me, I am attaining the first jhana, or I have attained the first jhana, or I have emerged from the first jhana. And Venerable Ananda said, it must be because I-making, mind-making, and the underlying tendency to conceit have been thoroughly uprooted in the Venerable Sariputta for a long time, that such thoughts did not occur to him. That's the end of the sutta. So here, Sariputta, like a lot of arahants, they spend the day meditating, abiding in the jhana. So for him in this sutta, he says that the whole day, most of the day, he was abiding in the first jhana. But because he's arahant with no self, he does not think, I am attaining the first jhana, or abiding in the first jhana, or have emerged from the first jhana. He has no self. So Venerable Ananda praised him that for a long time he has cut the conceit, the I am. That's why he can be like that. So the other suttas are similar to this. Is that Venerable Sariputta spends the day in the different types of jhana. In the second sutta, he spent the whole day in the second jhana. In the third sutta, he spent the day in the third jhana. In the fourth sutta, he spent the day in the fourth jhana, fourth rupa jhana. The fifth sutta, Venerable Sariputta spent the day in the base of infinity of space, boundless space, which is the first arupa jhana. And the sixth sutta, he spent the day in the second arupa jhana. The seventh sutta, he spent the day in the third arupa jhana, the base of nothingness. In the eighth sutta, he spent the day in the fourth arupa jhana, the base of neither perception nor non-perception. And the ninth sutta, he spent the day in the cessation. I read this ninth sutta, similar as before. And Venerable Sariputta replied to Venerable Ananda, here, friend, by completely transcending the base of neither perception nor non-perception, I entered and dwelt in the cessation of perception and feeling. Yet, friend, it did not occur to me, I am attaining the cessation of perception and feeling, or I have attained the cessation of perception and feeling, or I have emerged from the cessation of perception and feeling. And Venerable Ananda similarly praised him. It must be because I-making, mind-making, and the underlying tendency to conceit have been thoroughly uprooted in the Venerable Sariputta for a long time, that such thoughts did not occur to him. That's the end of the sutta. So you see, all these suttas up to this number 9, you find Venerable Sariputta abiding in all the different types of jhana, including the highest, the state of cessation the cessation is the cessation of perception and feeling, which also means cessation of consciousness. Now, the later books, they say that the Venerable Sariputta was liberated by wisdom, and the understanding of liberation by wisdom is that the monk did not attain any jhana. But you can see from here that even though Venerable Sariputta attained liberation by wisdom, yet he has all the jhanas. Only thing is, even though he has all the jhanas, he does not have psychic power, unlike some of the other monks. 28.10. On one occasion, the Venerable Sariputta was dwelling at Vacchagotta in the bamboo grove, the squirrel sanctuary. Then in the morning, the Venerable Sariputta dressed and taking bowl